Good morning. I want to share something I picked up from Bob Goff in his book, Catching Whimsy. And it's entitled, Don't Let Your Faith Start to Smell Like Moldy Cheese. Yeah, I've never read a devotional like that before. In Revelation chapter 2, verse 4, Jesus addresses the 7 different churches in Asia. And what he says in Revelation 2:4 is, Yet I hold this against you. You have forsaken the love you had at first. Bob Goff tells the story about when he was young, he got his first job, and it was at one of his first jobs, and it was at Hickory Farms. And Bob and I are the same age, and he got minimum wage, which was $2, and I can remember working for $2, summer of 1974, as a part-time gig at the Western Open. But he said he stumbled upon an advertisement for a job where the role was cutting the cheese. And his adolescent mind just thought, how cool is this? I am going to be compensated for cutting the cheese. I'll just leave it at that. So on the first day of the training, the store manager, and he says, I guess you could call him the big cheese, told me my first assignment every shift was to wake up the cheese. Hey, Jack, wake up. Good morning, he said. No, it's not like that. The thing about cheese is, in addition to the fact he says that it can triple your chance of getting a heart attack, I think that's a little bit high, maybe double, I don't know. But waking up the cheese is that when cheese is exposed to air, mold grows on it. Well, that sounds kind of nasty. But here's the deal. His job, making $2 an hour, was to go in every morning and to cut the mold off of the cheese, which is called waking up the cheese. And at first, might seem a little bit nasty, but after he did it, he took the mold off. It was like the cheese had been minted all over again. It reset the clock. This was healthy maintenance. How many of us could need that little wake up? See, here's the thing. When we do something the first time, it's kind of like, this is exciting. I often remember, now this summer, I've got to go to the DMV and I've got to get another driver's license. I'm really not looking forward to it because I've found out that the people that work there, I don't know, they seem to be trained somewhere to not be very nice. But I do remember what I was doing August 18th, 1975. Yeah, I was there. It was my birthday. I turned 16, and man, I remember that. But I don't remember the other visits. That's the thing. You remember the first one. You remember the first date. You probably don't remember the 10th date. You remember your first day at work, but then the thousands since then, not so much. But it can become that way with Jesus. It can become that way with our Christian faith, that we just we're kind of going through the motions. And that's, I think, why Jesus says, Yet I hold this against you, for you have forsaken the love you had at first. But you know what? Every day we're invited to, wake up the cheese, get the mold off. It's a mulligan every day. So I made some mistakes yesterday. Today is a new day. My brother, you probably heard me say it before, he's a pastor, he's got a sign in his office. It's never too late to restart the day. I love that. One final story. I think I pulled it out recently, but I don't think I've used it here. This is an old car. It's an old story with an old couple, and they're driving in the car, and it's got a bench seat, okay? Yeah, cars don't really have bench seats anymore. They've got the console in the middle. But back in the day, that was kind of nice, right? Especially if you're going out with your girlfriend. You can put your arm around her. Well, you got this older couple in the car with the bench seat, and she says, remember the old days? Remember, I used to sit right next to you. You had your arm around me. And she's kind of like, pining away for the old days. And you know what Grandpa says? He says, I ain't the one who moved. And ain't that the truth with Jesus? If we don't feel as close to Jesus, it's because we moved away. Jesus is available every day. He's as close as your heartbeat if you know him as your Savior. If not, maybe today's the day. Ask him in to be your Savior. Fall in love with Jesus. If you've been with Jesus, it's time to return to your first love. God bless you. Have a great week.